And he gets a king.
Not the best card, but it's a check to him.
Those haven't changed.
Wow, he's reaching for a sizable bet.
11,000. Flat out bluff.
Well, he's using his position and his aggression to his advantage, yes, and he's just picked up a pot there. It was the two-bullet bluff. The first one didn't work. If Kagawa had raised on the flop, I suspect he would have won that pot, but instead he just called and allowed Alezra's aggression to pick up that pot.
Of 19,200.
Those are the kinds of hands you have to win to beat the cash games.
Well, Tony G on a straddle this time, and the action folding around to John Jawanda. He calls with pocket nines.
Jawanda just calling with 2 nines. Alezra making a rare fold.
Antonius, 8-5 suited, and he calls.
Patrick willing to play a lot of hands.
One flop.
Jedlicka called with his Jack-7 suited, and now Tony G. And he checks.
Tony G could have made an aggressive play there, made a big raise.
So 4 players to the flop. Ace-Jack deuce.
Tony G's caught top pair with a solid kicker. Jedlicka flops second pair, it's on him.
He checks,
I check.
and so does Tony G.
Tony G probably looking for a check raise here. Jawanda wisely checks his nines. Tonius completely whiffs and fires 4,000 at this pot. Well, Jedlicka out of position with 2 people behind him. It's tough to call. Second pair only. But he does call. Well, this is exactly what Tony G wanted. A bet and a call. He makes it 20,000. Well, this ought to end things right here. I can't see either of these 2 players calling.
Antonius folds the tent, and so does Jedlicka.
Nice bluff.
That was no bluff, Nicky.
Well, I'm not gonna just like. I gotta win one pot.
You have 10-8 a club. Good raise.
You could get trapped thinking that. You will get trapped. Just a matter of when.
Welcome back to Australia and the FullTiltPoker.net Aussie Millions Cash Game Invitational. Well, play continues. The blinds remain 400 and 800 with a $100 ante.
Well, that may be the structure, but we have seen a lot of players straddling, and once again, we have Eli Alezra straddling for 1,600.
And Jedlicka will make the call with a Jack-7. Kagawa folds to Tony G. And he will call.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of big matchup hands, but certainly plenty of players willing to call with less than stellar holdings. Gus limps with 4 high, and Jawanda also calls with Jack-8 of spades.
Action now over to our straddler.
15 hand.
Ace-9 for Ellie.
It's a 15,000 hand. Hold on, let me think, okay?
Do it, just for the heck of it, just to prove
3, 4, 5, 6.
Make it 20.
Oh, 15 does give us the right odds this time.
All right, that's fine.
Nah.
Well, Alezra was thinking about whether he should try and pick that one up. He actually had the best hand. He could have stolen that pot with a big raise.
Instead, 5 players to the flop, and Hansen has hit trip deuces.
Well, great flop for the 4 deuce. Doesn't look like he'll get a lot of action. Everyone else has completely whiffed on this flop. And Gus is going to fire, though.
5,400. Jawanda folds.
Could I do it or not?
Wow.
Alezra folds.
Don't really know what Nicky's thinking about. Maybe he's going to make a raise here.
Well, he calls.
Well, he is not calling for value here, Barry. He is looking to bluff this pot on the turn. There's no other reason to call.
And it is a 7 of hearts on the turn.
Jedlicka actually makes a pair. He could get in a bit of trouble. He obviously didn't put Hansen on anything on the flop, so he might think that 7 is good.
And Hansen will bet 14,200.
Well, Gus isn't the check-raise kind of guy, which might get him in a bit of trouble here. If he had known what Jedlicka had, he certainly would have checked here. Jedlicka was trying to make the call on the flop, bluff the turn kind of play.
Well, Gus is going to win this hand, and a nice little pot for the man who's very glad to be back here at the Crown Melbourne. It's a place that brings back very good memories.
Gus Hansen, sometimes when it's going right, it is going right.
And Fricky will call.
I thought I had played a really good tournament. I mean, I don't know if I want to use the word deserved to win, but I felt I played very well throughout the tournament.
Gus Hansen leads out with the aces.
All in.
Fricky moves all in.
Call.
Instant call from Gus.
It wasn't over till it was over. I had 2 aces in the last hand, and once I saw the river card, I knew that was it.
And that's it! Gus Hansen is the 2007 Aussie Millions champion.
In the end, a little bit of luck of the cards, and I was the one with all the chips left. It's nice when you go out drinking with the guys and a cute girl comes up to you and asks, "Are you Gus Hansen?" That's definitely an advantage. At the poker table, that's more questionable. Anybody else move on in? I call him 1 second. So sick. It was so sick. My system can't function if I do that too often.
Gus is a fantastic player. Very aggressive, very intelligent person. Great poker intelligence. It's fantastic to see and very entertaining.
Gus, for me, we used to say Gus is very loose. Gus become one of the best no-limit players around.
I think I have a really good chance of repeating here down under in Australia. I might go as far and put myself in the favorite category to win this tournament.
Good player and a very consistent player.
Well, Gus has a lot of confidence, but it's well earned. He really handles big field, no-limit hold'em tournaments about as well as any player in the world.
Action will start with Gus now. 3-4 suited. Chris Ferguson straddling here.
Yeah, we've got Chris joining the festivities. A lot of players straddling at this table tonight.
And Hansen's going to raise it to 6,400 with that 3-4.
Well, it's certainly a tricky play, hoping to just get called by a player or two and flop a big hand on a low flop.
Jawanda folded. Now Lesra. He's going to call.
Another loose call from Ellie.
Let's gamble.
Well, Antonia says, let's gamble. And I don't know if that's gambling.
Well,
More negative for us.
it looks like he's grabbing for a bunch of 5,000 chips. Makes it 24,000 to go.
You've created a good pot. That's for sure. We've created all.
Well, this ought to end this pot right now. I can't see either a Lesra or Hansen calling, or the ace-10 offsuit of Tony G either.
So he will fold it, as does Chris Ferguson. Just contemplating this 3-4.
Well, he certainly can't be thinking about calling. Maybe he could really make a big misstep here and move in. Now he folds.
God, if I have your hand, I call for sure. King, queen, I wanted it. You don't see all this dead money? I got 10 high. Can't call.
Well, that's exactly what Antonius wanted.